Okay, we're going to attempt to define the measurement features in the CATIA 3D experience in the part design workbench and in the tools tab. In the tools tab, you'll have 3 different measurements starting with measure item. If you can't select it, you may have to use this arrow to expand that to find measure item, measure between, and measure inertia. I have an example of each one on the screen. This one over here is a measure item. If I select on it, it highlights it on the tree. If I click measure, this one here highlights measure between, and then the inertia. If I open that, you can see its moments of inertia. All right, so the first one under measure item, if you turn on the keep measure in the pop-up window, when you create your measure item, it will keep the measurement on the screen. Measure item is typically used to find lengths of line, diameter of holes, radiuses of corners, so whenever you're measuring one specific item. As opposed to measure between, the next one over, this is the measure between feature. If you use this one, you get a very similar pop-up window. You want to make sure to keep measure to keep the measurements on the screen. How it differs is it's measuring between 2 elements. So it could be to measure the distance between 2 parallel lines, such as we have here. You'll see extension lines on a measure between with a dimension line, whereas measure item just points to the item it's measuring. Measure between is used to find angles, distances from a center of a hole to the edge of a part, or length of a slot. So anytime you're going to measure using 2 elements, it's measure between. The last one is measure inertia. When I use measure inertia, you'll see in my pop-up window I have the inertia, and what it gives me is area, volume, mass, center of gravity, and moments of inertia. That's how much pounds of pressure it will take to rotate about the axis of the center of gravity. You cannot find the weight though until you apply material. So I've applied a 6061 aluminum material. With that material applied, under mass, I will get the weight in pounds. The volume is in cubic inch, and the area is basically wetted area. That is tell you how much paint you would need to cover the part. And then you have your axis and center of gravity here. So those are the 3 different types. Again, it's measure item, measure between, and measure inertia. We'll go over how to create those and also how to modify them and move them or delete them if you don't want that.